In today's episode of the Pathmark Presents podcast, I have an interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Ryan Millman. He's hailing over from the team at UnDigital. And UnDigital is a very interesting technology that's basically helping retailers to deliver the right marketing message to every e-commerce customers out there to basically open their package, right? So definitely we want to figure out what this is all about. It's a very interesting use case. And we got Ryan here as the co-founder and CEO of UnDigital to just learn more about UnDigital. So Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. So, maybe give our listeners a quick overview. What is UnDigital all about in your own words?
Yeah, for sure. So UnDigital, we're the inventors of what we call in-package personalization. We work with e-commerce brands to really monetize the value of all of those outgoing packages. And we do this by allowing brands to include in every outgoing package valuable content that's fully personalized to each and every user. Essentially what we're doing here is we provide smart printers that go into the fulfillment center, and the marketers from each brand get to use our platform to create and publish campaigns, very much like creating a Facebook ad. But these are campaigns that are very personalized, provide a lot of valuable content. They can publish lots of various campaigns. At the time the packages are leaving the fulfillment center, we look at each of the packages and we say, oh, this is Lisa's package. What does marketing want Lisa to receive? We know all these details about Lisa. And on the fly, immediately in microseconds, we're producing and printing out a very valuable piece of print collateral that's fully personalized to Lisa. So whether it's giving her instructions on how to use the item in the package, maybe there's curated product recommendations based on what she's ordered. If we know something about her skin or her hair care routine, we can give her tips and give her recommendations on how to get the best out of her beauty regimen. Certainly, people that are not in the loyalty program, we want to tell them why they should join specifically. But everything we do is providing valuable content, very relevant content. And then we have a full measurement platform, so we can A/B test campaigns and actually see which of the pieces of marketing collateral is truly driving the highest increase in conversion rate.
Makes a whole lot of sense. And what I love about this is that the offline and the online world become merged, right? So that you can use offline experiences, through online, basically tools in a way. And so that's very cool. So what types of, you mentioned already e-commerce, but maybe give us a couple of sort of, an insight. What types of marketers are typically leveraging the platform?
Yeah, we work with tons of digital marketers from various e-commerce brands, small, medium, and large. We also work with fulfillment centers, 3PLs that do fulfillment on behalf of these brands. What's so interesting about it is even though the impressions are physical, this is physical collateral that drops into the package, right? That's personalized to that user. Everything about how this gets executed is really the same as any digital marketing channel, right? We have all the data about the customers. We're creating campaigns, we're scheduling campaigns, we're publishing them, we're attaching artwork. The artwork gets fully personalized with personalized tokens for each user. And so digital marketers that are used to creating campaigns on Facebook or Google or other platforms use our platform. It's very easy to set up. And now they get to control everything that's going into the packages out of their fulfillment center. And sometimes they might be 1,000 miles away from where their fulfillment center might be. And so a lot of the times we're just working with the marketing groups. They're adding this as a channel. And I think what's most amazing about it is, even though, we're elevating the customer's experience, right, by providing, valuable and helpful content to them, make no mistake, this is a performance marketing channel. When you provide the right calls to action, you can measure it, you can optimize the channel. It's quite amazing just how much of a lift you can get in whatever marketing KPI you're trying to deliver on.
No, that makes total sense. Now, how do these guys learn about you? It's probably something that maybe they have thought about, but we're maybe, struggling to actually execute this type of a strategy really well without the help. How do they learn about you guys?
Yeah. I'd say most people come to us either from our outbound marketing strategy or word of mouth. Those seem to be the two most popular channels. A lot of times there's just good timing where people, are frustrated. They know they could do a better job on their unboxing experience. Maybe they're, a brand that's just putting an item in a box. We all know that's not a great experience. Or maybe they're putting in pre-printed marketing pieces. They're trying to segment some marketing pieces. It's very difficult for them to figure out, and they find us and realize that not only do we automate that whole process, but we sort of take it to the next level as far as our ability to do true one-to-one marketing marketing. So those are primarily the two methods that people are finding out about UnDigital today.
Very cool. Now, what role does the website then play? Like, how do you think about, undigital.com for everybody who's listening in on the podcast? What role does it play in that journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think a website for really, of course, any SaaS or technology company is hugely important. In fact, we just rolled out a completely new website this morning. So, just goes to show, we're always looking to iterate, optimize, make improvements, and we're constantly analyzing, how do we provide more valuable information to our customers. So the website is a critical piece for people to certainly learn, engage with us. And for somebody in our role, we have to educate customers on learning about the channel, how does it work, best practices. So that is a great way for us to do it, and a very important piece of our overall strategy.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Very cool. So we talked about the product. We talked about who's using the product. We talked a little bit about the website. Is there other channels that you, as a co-founder and CEO, are excited about that on the horizon? You're basically outbound a lot of. Is there some channels you think are exciting for the next couple of quarters?
Yeah, definitely inbound, right? So inbound's a really important strategy. Putting out valuable content. We really do want to help educate. There's just so many exciting things to say. There's so many exciting use cases and case studies we have, and we have customers that the way that they're using personalization in the package. We just launched a customer where we automated handwritten notes. They had 8 people that were actually manually writing them through our platform. Through UnDigital, they were able to eliminate all of the staff. And we automate handwritten notes. It mimics handwritten notes through our platform. They all get printed, of course, but they're really hyper personalized to the user, and thank them specifically for their item and how to use the item, and tell them interesting tidbits or things that are coming up with the brand. Could be signed from the CEO. So I think inbound is something that's really exciting for us, and something that we are working hard on.
Yep, very good. That makes a whole lot of sense. Now, let's switch gears a little bit, right? We talked about the company. We talked about what you guys are doing. I'd love to talk a little bit more about yourself and your journey, right? You've been, marketing innovator for, a great span of time. You've been, building out companies prior. You've been you're, an entrepreneur by heart, I would say, from what we know. Where do you keep on educating yourself? How do you still read books? Do you listen to, I don't know, talks? Do you go to peer groups? Is it just the practice where you learn? What's your go-to?
This is a topic that's near and dear to me because, I was a really poor high school student, not much better in college. I was the kid in college sitting in the back of class, writing business plans, saying, gosh, I'm going to figure something out. Really always liked the idea of starting my own company. And I started my first company as a junior in college. And, just school of hard knocks, just learned, everything I needed to know, and tried to continuously improve my education. So as somebody who was not very interested in formal education, I fell in love with the idea of educating myself around entrepreneurship, around business, around any topic that was sort of near and dear to helping to drive the business. So, every day for the last 20 years, I have spent every day trying to gain a knowledge advantage by listening to a podcast, a video, a book, whatever was available to me. And so, I've started, 5 companies. We've got a few hundred employees in my organization, and we've had a lot of success. But I think, one of the key things that for me that's just really helped is just to be a continuous learner. You never stop learning. So I'll find that knowledge tidbit anywhere I can. And I'm constantly seeking out, new nuggets of how we can improve or how we can focus on a new challenge. A lot of what we do, especially when you're innovating, is new, right? And sometimes there's not a playbook, and you just have to problem solve and work with your team and sort of try and get the best out of each other, and just figure things out. And so, anyways, you just got to keep improving. You've got to, I think, as somebody who's founded many startups, is you've got to be up for the fight. I always say entrepreneurship is like putting a 500-pound weight on your back and walking through quicksand. And I love that. Not everybody does, but to me, that's what's exciting. And so you sort of just get used for the highs and the lows and the challenges, and trying to continue to take your company head north.
Yeah, no, makes a lot of sense. Any sort of tip or advice for other entrepreneurs that are feeling that big back on this big weight on their back at the moment? What's what have kept your your spirits high and driving towards the goals?
Well, if you don't have a big weight on your back, you're probably not doing anything that's worthwhile. That's the case. And I think a lot of times we don't realize that we look outside of other companies and think they have it all figured out. Very few do, right? Everyone has their own challenges. So I think sort of just first realizing you're not in it alone. Like this is part of the process. But there's good days and bad days, right? And then you can go from one great day to one bad day back to one good day. And I think having an open and honest forum and be able to provide candid feedback to your team and sort of you're all in it together, right? A lot of times when companies get together, and some do it, every day, people have to think that everything has to be rosy and it's all great, and that's sometimes just not the case. But there's so many exciting micro moments. There's certainly challenging micro moments. That's all part of it. So you take it all together and you get something that is quite exciting. It's quite thrilling. And you sort of, the challenges become less debilitating as you just realize that that's just par for the course, right? You get up for them, you solve them, you know how to solve them. You're not a deer in headlights anymore. When you've done it enough times, it kind of just becomes normal. Solving pretty hard things is pretty exciting. Again, pretty thrilling, right? Creating new technologies is hard. Making things, innovative is challenging. So, these are all things that, when you get to the other side, you can look back, maybe you pat yourself on the back and you say, hey, we're going to keep going. You'll have new challenges ahead. That's what entrepreneurship is. And, anyone who's really created anything of great value, has been through it and has endured it. So if you're going through that today, you might be on the right track. Just know that you're not alone.
Yeah, very cool. I got some rapid fire questions to wrap it up for today. They're a bit of a surprise for the guests, but I'm pretty sure they're harmless to you. So we're ready to get into those.
Good.
What is the last book you read or the last podcast you listened to?
Oh gosh. Last book's probably 0 to 1, Peter Thiel.
What's the one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Gosh, I'd say the one single thing that we are focused on is increasing pipeline. That's one of our big KPIs.
What's the last thing that kept you awake at night about the company?
Oh gosh. Well, you know what? I always say this, I sleep great at night. Maybe that's just because we put in a really hard day. We get the work done. We have a lot of integrity in our organization, trying to do everything the right way. So I sleep like a baby. I get back up the next day. I'm pumped when I get up, I get my coffee and I'm rearing to go. So maybe all that hard work, a good day's honest day work, a good honest day's work will give you a good night's sleep. And so I haven't had any trouble sleeping.
Very cool. And if we go back to your very, very first company, right? We go all the way back to what you founded. I mean, you've been in that time founding a couple, but probably the first one might be the Greek yearbook company. We'll save, at least. So what would be the one advice? Now you're sitting there, you're building your own first company. What's the one advice that today's you would give yourself back then?
Gosh, well, I'd say the one piece of advice is, realize you're in it for, a longer slog. When I started that company, gosh, that was in '99. We were one of the first companies to put photographs on the internet. And I thought I was building Facebook before Facebook, which was the first site where people would have profiles from colleges and Greek letter organizations, and kind of went down that path, started building this out, had to pivot it. And it took about 5 years really before the company was able to make its ends meet, right? And actually have a viable business. But we turned that into a company that takes pictures of Greek letter organizations annually at over 600 colleges. Within a few years, I brought in a great management team, moved on to start company number 2, then 3, and so on. That company's still around today. I still own that company. It's a great company for us. But it took a long time. I've got some crazy stories of, we were staring at, the edge of the abyss, and then we were able to figure things out. And so, it really took 5 years. I was paying, my employees, I couldn't pay myself. But those were exciting times. I loved every moment of it. I learned a ton. And but there were a couple times that were touch and go. So you got to realize when you're starting something, you're starting a good 8 to 10 year journey. So you got to be passionate about what you're doing. You got to believe in it. You got to be optimistic, and you got to keep persevering. So I'd say we all think we have a great idea, we're going to get it going, it's going to take right away, product market fit, up and to the right. That's not usually the case. You got to be prepared for that. And, hopefully you pick the right thing that you and your team are excited, optimistic, can build an addressable market or have an addressable market, and continue to power on.
And I really appreciate you took the time with us today to be a guest on Pathway Presents. I want to give you the last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about UnDigital, what's the one thing that they should remember?
Yeah, I think we're building one of the last great untapped marketing channels, certainly in e-commerce. The outgoing package, there's tens of billions of them being shipped worldwide per year. And it really just hadn't been figured out as a proper marketing channel. The ability to drive the right message, truly valuable to the user, fully measurable and automated. We put all those pieces together. It's a pretty incredible technology. I expect the majority of major e-commerce retailers to be using this technology. It's just going to be a must-have. We're having tremendous results. And I'd say lastly, the improvement to things like reorder rates or getting more people to join your loyalty program, whatever your KPI is, it's just such a incremental technology to whatever your marketing goals are. So I think we're at the forefront of something really exciting. And yeah, so I want to thank you though for your time today. This was really great to get to share a little bit with your listeners. And I really enjoyed the chat with you today.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathway Presents.
All right, great.